everyone, it's me, Nicole, your Electrolysis Goddess, and I'm here with another video of helpful hairy tips. Lately, people have been contacting me during COVID because we personally are seeing such a small number of clients because they all have to be referred from a physician. We have been getting a lot of inquiries about, well, what can I do right now? What can I do in the meantime? I don't want to shave my face. I don't want to keep tweezing my face. I don't know what to do about my tummy trail. I don't know what to do about my breast hair. All the usual questions that come up when we are dealing with our unwanted hair in a pandemic or not. And I did another video about this, but I want to emphasize it. Shaving is your best friend. Shaving is your best friend. And I know, folks, you don't want to hear about taking a razor to your face, especially my lovely ladies who think that, have learned over the years in their mind's eye that that's going to make it worse. But I will tell you, it will not. So please, I can't emphasize this enough, that shaving is your friend. If you're worried about the peach fuzz on your face and that by shaving that, because you're shaving darker hairs, that you're going to make it worse, got another tip for you. It will not make it worse. What happens when we shave? Imagine when you have a full face of hair and you haven't touched it for weeks, months. You're going to have hairs in every cycle of growth. Growing hairs, aging hairs, hairs that are no longer active and alive, meaning they're not attached to the blood that feeds their follicles, and hairs that are completely dormant, or as we like to say, telogen. And those hairs on our head shed, they fall out. On our face, for example, if we haven't touched it in months, or in my case, years and years and years and years since I have to do electrolysis, those hairs, a lot of the hairs are in that stage where they're not shedding because they don't shed like our head hair, but they're dormant. So that's the fear, right? If I take a razor to my face, if I take clippers to my face or anywhere else on my body, that those light hairs are going to get thicker and darker. Myth. They will not get thicker and darker. What will happen is if you do shave your whole face to try to get rid of the really dark hairs so that you're not walking around, I mean, thank goodness for masks right now, right? But so that you're not walking around with hair on your face that you really don't like, even if you are totally at peace with your peach fuzz, when you shave the face, what has happened is that imagine a clean slate, right? So we talk about hairs that are growing, aging, dying, and shedding. Those are the cycles of the life of a hair. When you shave the face, in several days, you're going to see some hair show up. Only those hairs are the hairs that are growing. So for example, if you shaved your whole face, if I shaved my whole face today, even my peach fuzz, I don't know if you all can see that. If I shave everything today, in a few days, what would come in would be a small fraction of the total. And what it would be, it would feel a little bit coarser and it would look a little bit darker. But that does not mean that they're getting darker and coarser and more of them from shaving. It just means that because we shaved all the hairs off perfectly, only the hairs that are actually growing in that time, the hairs that are still attached to the blood that feeds our follicles, only those hairs are going to show up. And because they're attached to the blood, they feel stubbly, they look a little bit darker, but they're not getting darker, because the same peach fuzz hairs, if you were to shave right now and you waited 2, 3, 4, 6 weeks, they would go right back to being the same style hairs. The biggest myth that I'm always trying to dispel, and if you've seen my other videos, you know this, is that your biggest culprit to making thicker, coarser, stronger hairs, besides hormones, okay, is stimulating the blood that feeds the follicles by yanking the hairs out. Because when we start yanking our hairs out, the brain sends blood there. So when we get more and more blood flow, more and more circulation to the hair follicles, they get stimulated. We have more over time. And it might take days, it might take weeks, it might take years, but that's going to increase the hair growth and the thickness and the darkness. Not shaving, I promise you. So, my dear friends, if you can't get in to see an electrologist in your area, if you can't find an electrologist in your area, know that shaving is the least expensive and the best temporary method of hair removal. In our case, we have 160 people waiting to get in. My team is now just myself and one other person, when at the start of this year, there were 4 of us. So it is a tough time in our business. It is a tough time for everybody with the pandemic, because we're just not able to stay afloat in the same way. And because of the restrictions, we can only see a small fraction of the number of people that we used to. So it's one of those things where you're going to have to probably wait longer. Be patient. We're in a tough time all around, and just know that your hair will be okay, especially if you don't make it worse by yanking it out. So, shaving is your friend. That's your temporary solution. And by way of transition, I wanted to let you know that we are launching a new segment here at ElectroYogi Electrolysis YouTube called the Sparkle Sisters Come Clean. And that is myself and my colleague Vanessa, who's a makeup artist and an electrologist for the past 7 years. She's been with me all this time. We are going to be talking about makeup. We are going to be talking about clean beauty. We are going to be talking about all the things, myth busting. We're going to be talking about nutrition. We are going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff around beauty, hair, life, philosophy, many things. So stay tuned for that. Sparkle Sisters Come Clean. We are launching it on October 1st. With a first episode that's going to be Vanessa giving me a daytime to nighttime makeup look, 2 different looks, using all clean beauty products from a few of our favorite brands. So stay tuned for that. It's not always going to be makeup tips and tricks. It's going to be a lot of important things that you might be interested in. So thanks for listening. Remember to shave. If you live in Los Angeles and you would like to see us here at ElectroYogi, please send an email to Nicole at electroyogi.com. Go to our website, ElectroYogiElectrolysis.com. Send us a comment here, like, subscribe. I try to respond to everyone, but it's just me, so it might take some time. Meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.